same name. I'm confused already. And poems. Review and magazine and tavern poetry editor for Make, a reading series at Presse and Ugly Duckling Press. The Ugly Duckling published his University of Archive in 2010. He teaches in the chapbook, pardon me, Shine Tomorrow, Lost Chord Press, Minutes Books. Joel Craig is panicked. Is forthcoming from Illinois, where he curates the Dannies of the chapbook. The author of. Please welcome Andy Fitch.
I feel that was the nicest introduction I've ever received. People always say that. I've never even felt motivated to say that, but I do mean it this time. Thank you. It's been great to talk to Louis and Andy as we were planning this, so thank you both very much. Andy, yeah, it's nice when we email, we don't get self-conscious about the same name. Some people do. Thanks a lot, and it's great to be here. I graduated from here, loved both the store in its earlier incarnation, and never thought I'd have anything to do at Canterbury, so it's nice to be here for multiple reasons. I'm going to read from a new manuscript. I read at Joel's series, the Danny series in Chicago the other night, and then Joel and I read together last night. So I've been trying to do new readings each time because I don't want to bore Joel. I have a kind of standard reading I do, and my wife is often with me, and she won't even be in the same room any longer when I do the reading. She'll go browse during that time, and then come back for all of the other readers. So I didn't want to have that experience with Joel too. So I'm going to try something new. This is a manuscript that I'm just finishing. It's called U2 Island, Coney Island Avenue. There are 3 pieces in it. There are 3 long poems. Each is a description of a walk I took across a city. The U2 piece takes place in Berlin, following the U2 train line from west to east, the famous train line that used to cross national borders. I'll just read a very brief part from that. Island, the second part, is the main section in the book. That documents a walk I took from the northern to the southern tip of Manhattan, describing what I saw along the way. And Joel's going to help me with that part of the reading. So the intro was all the more appropriate. And then Coney Island, for that piece, I'll have to give a little background info. I got a job last year, and a teaching job. And when you get a teaching job, you get what's called a startup fund that's supposed to get your research going. I don't really need money to do my work because I'm a poet, but I know in an institutional setting you need to spend money in order to get new money. So I had to figure out how to spend this money, and I have, I don't know, maybe 80 hours of audio cassettes of material at some point I wanted to put into a book. So I thought I'd pay somebody to transcribe all of that, and was referred to Callgraph, which is a Bombay-based transcription service. And what happens with them is that you upload 5 minutes of material, and they give you a free transcript. And I did that, and it worked well. And then I gave them an hour of material, cost $30, $40, and that went fine. And then I kind of freaked out and gave them 80 hours of material, and it cost $4,000, and it came back as complete shit. So I had to figure out what to do, and felt like it was a frustration at first, but I've tried to embrace the Callgraph idiom since then. So I'll read from that too. So this piece, are there German speakers in the audience? Okay. Oh no. So I'm going to read this is from the U2 piece. It's a prologue. It's just a paragraph. If the U2 title sounds corny, for obvious reasons, there is the Negative Land album, if people remember that, called U2, where U2 was on the cover, and I think Island Records sued, and everybody went bankrupt, and The Edge said he appreciated this act of artistic freedom, but they should pay their own debts, and I think he just went out and bought a new Rolls Royce or something. So it's a corny title, but that's the legacy that I'm working with. Okay, I just have to practice in my mind once. Okay, so prologue. First, I should describe what I'm eating. The big meal I began today with. Vollkorn penne and potatoes, rice, tomato sauce, Le Sirop de Monin Cassis Schwarz Johannesbier. I don't know what it is. The label says Prinzessin Fien Marie Bio Kasegriller. Did I get that right, sort of? Lentils appear also in this main course. For salad, balsamico blanco vinegar on arugula, beets, peppers, cherry, tomatoes. Finally, some pickles from Steffen's refrigerator. Fischer brand, cornichon, Katzlich piquant mit Schuschgenschmittel, 2 Leibniz chocolate d'herbe and ginseng tea from the States, and tons of water. So that's the prologue. I've sent this out to people since, and everyone responds by saying, you know, a prologue is supposed to actually introduce something. But I didn't really know that. I just thought it's supposed to start something. And so I know it doesn't really mean anything in this reading, but I had a reading, or a manuscript, and I had a prologue, so I thought I should read it. So that's that. So Joel and I are going to work on Island. With Island, the obvious point of reference for it is Andy Warhol's film Empire, which, as you probably know, has a stationary camera record the Manhattan cityscape for 8 hours as day and night rolls by. And so this is supposed to be the inverse of that, with me continually moving through the city. It's a book-length work heavily based on continuity because it's going from the northern to the southern tip of Manhattan, describing everything I saw. So I don't really know how to do a reading from it. What I'm going to give you are excerpts that went out for publication while I was putting it together. They're all short vignettes, prose vignettes basically. So these will move fast, but if you had 400 of them, that would be the project. So Joel's going to help me with that. Thank you.
Of course.
We obviously, when we share a mic, there's no happy medium. Yeah, okay.
Project.
Yeah, okay. So they're all short titled passages. This one is To Step on Fringe Shadow.
Before 2/20th wash and lube, I note
Cough.
Bright warm sun.
A couple collectively carries their target bag.
This macho guy crosses carrying a T-square.
Now I'll cover the mic with a hand for a siren.
That was New York Presbyterian Hospital,
Beyond the Kingsbridge bus depot.
whose ramp ends on blue sky
Broadway drops beneath dark train tracks.
toward green gold fringe.
Outside, used car dealer.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, J&M General Auto Repair.
To step on fringe shadow feels terrific.
I peruse reflections in the auto parts window.
Clerks think I want to buy a car.
This one's called Almost Kissing.
Strangers stop so dogs can sniff.
The Hudson expands with always the question,
Even here at Cabrini Boulevard,
on what seemed a cool,
late spring day,
always the question what to wear uptown,
whether it's best to sweat but stay insulated.
or carry layers not yet put on.
These two,
This boy and girl slide down the slide together,
whirling on top of each other,
resembling a barber's pole.
smiling and almost kissing.
This one's Doberman.
Trails start up of twigs or straw as squat magnolias bloom below,
A Doberman leans along the wall, staring,
as though feeling he has entered the park.
yet also that he's entering the park. Christopher Columbus.
Dropping down Manhattan,
The Island.
you'll reach 110th and the rest seems easy.
I have 15 seconds left on this bottle.
I'd prefer to keep moving but can't drink.
Walk and hold the mic in place.
My legs
Again, my hamstrings.
throb,
One woman called her kids a minute ago.
and the boys took a while to exit the park.
As they crossed 110th, their father propped open a white van's door,
Slipped out in flip-flops.
tugged some hoses beneath the hood.
This bird,
This loud bird,
I'm watching its beak open as it cries,
inspecting my old building.
which contains stone craftwork near the cornices.
Wow, blank faces.
Christopher Columbus.
This is gravel.
Gravel connects me to the reservoir,
The trip's next highlight,
the Jackie O,
and the first shirtless boy of the season.
chasing a Doberman, chasing pigeons.
Oh, this shirtless boy wears a peach-colored top.
Which still counts,
Until a shirtless man passes in skimpy shorts,
clutching garments.
two pierced hearts on his shoulder,
Silence without street sounds from before.
from which I'll sniff warm pine needles,
Watch a camera bag bob,
twirl.
unknot itself.
Tennis players pack the courts, playing doubles,
Shoes skidding across the clay,
the way clouds push the sun around the park.
part of the city.
This is 32nd, so we're headed south, in case that wasn't clear. 32nd,
32nd could be Midtown's best block.
from 5th to Broadway.
Pedestrians shiver,
If you've been wandering and sweated,
talking a lot,
you take a chill,
since there's not much sun.
bringing quietness while rushing past Kumgong-san.
My favorite Koreatown restaurant.
6th Ave,
Sometimes now I'll grunt or sigh.
a cramped crabapple in full bloom,
Began to cross 6th as traffic paused.
but 6th keeps treating me okay.
Then fatigue,
Attention,
tautness at my inner thigh's hinge.
let's say the groin, though is that the groin?
Those supple lower V rays propel me back to sun.
6th is the sunny Ave, south of 34th Street.
Still, people pack the shady Aves.
6th stays calm. This is supper time,
Soon 9th hits Hudson,
which I could take far south,
this old couple facing not their best economic seasons,
straining to read.
screening the glare to appraise Moonstruck Diner's early bird special,
For some already,
supper time.
20s,
Felt compelled to speak with the man,
who then did not respond.
a torn block with gravel.
King,
Still, a Budweiser truck roars past a Starbucks cup. Sorry for brand names.
getting hard to censor.
Tipped, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Tipped horizontal on a garbage can.
Which spins without rolling,
Retaining foam,
soars.
raw blisters.
Each foot's inner edges hurt.
A 60-ish woman walks someone about 80,
Hunched in a cute plaid dress,
and the 60-year-old keeps handing bills,
dollar-type bills,
20s,
to that bent woman.
bills she folds into her pocket.
And this is the end of the island part, Guatemala.
A man distributes flyers for suits.
Calling, here you go, guy, with no one coming.
A woman's eyes appraise me up and down.
I see my first frown today.
When a boy carrying heavy bags has to weave through bus exhaust,
Below his shoes, some store projects the word Guatemala,
which catches on a high-heeled lawyer's calves,
which probably ache like mine.
with silent crowds now merging north,
An elderly woman's wheeled cart pushed,
her legs darkly bruised.
her shins.
And here's the other cemetery.
Here lieth the body of Hefter Balmer,
Deceased, the second D, like an exponent sign, July 17th, 1761.
aged 2 years. So, if there were many of those, that would be Island. So thanks a lot for that, yeah. Okay, and then this is Coney Island Avenue. I used to, and I don't always write about New York anymore. I lived in New York for a long time, and now I'm totally not interested in New York in any way. But as I've told people before, I can't get away from New York weather reports. I don't know if those are big in Madison too, but whenever I try to go online or something, that's what happens. And now, no one in my family used to ask me when I lived in New York about New York, but now people ask if I've noticed how much it snows in New York. But so I'm no longer a New York insider, and I'm not into that as much anymore. But this is, again, about New York. I was living on Prospect Park Southwest, and one day accidentally realized when looking at a Google map that my street quickly became Coney Island Avenue and went all the way to the ocean. And I felt like I hadn't seen the ocean from ground level in many years, so I just stopped what I was doing and took a walk. Again, whenever I'm taking these walks, I have a microphone attached to my collar, and I'm just talking to myself, which no longer looks insane. So that has worked well. But so this is the call graph style idiom. So it's just the first 2 pages of it. Back in Brooklyn after Memorial Day weekend at Kristen's, here I've prepared to put bags in storage. I'll never have most things in summer. These are my grandpa's suitcases on the bed. That bed itself can dirty now, because before the bed, if it's used again, it will chose to washed, and this morning I have had twisted knee ankle moments. Stepping from a closet to the door with box and sometimes handles, straps as my foot caught on them. One humidifier's got to go with portable CD player. Pots and raincoats folded on top of everything. I mean that really fold task things. Clothes I have kept, not worn, then packed away in summer. Cats slip their eyes to say hello, which way, but then back to sleep. A double lock here in Brooklyn I've got. This umbrella tied by shoelace to belt soot never would harm expensive jeans, though the way this umbrella ties with the shoelace from one of my New Balance gray house shoes. I'll have to walk with my forearms and wrists up like a race walker thing. Exit, I see a menial woman with, here at 2 minutes 57 seconds, there's a gap. I mean postal, muscular, tattoo caps. I sensed, no, discovered. I've been looking at a map. Whoa, bright confusion crossing Prospect Park southwest. I discovered today, looking at dim online map, that within blocks of my house, my apartment building, 70 Prospect Park southwest, comes a wage house Aztec art decor for square style, since Prospect Park quickly becomes Coney Island Ave. Coney Island Drive, nice prickly purple tops to weeds in a park. They seem blessed to grow. I mean, here are fairy plants. Memorial Day in memory, and I'd have this theory for a long time. I could predict Memorial Weekend would rain. Rolling wire fences still to be put in place with the park completely green, surrounded by low-hanging green. A thick tunnel bird, for some reason I've wanted to call a startling. Bottle caps here, certainly. Sorry, it's hard to know where I am even. Scraps get so shredded in parks, look like his wet toilet paper. Hopefully one could warm some baby birds. Today, cough, cool weather came back. Am I out enough? Unclear, form a texture of my voice. But the chords keep working hard, slow down, slowing me as I move downhill, and a leaf tumbles somersaulting the whole way back to land. Face up, green, yellow, unripe, black stem, as if cut by barbers. Something about robins makes me fixate on their audience. Here I don't know the trail. I don't know if I'm on a trail. I may turn back in second, it's so thick green. Considerate birds, yeah. That's a full sentence, considerate birds, yeah. There's a dwelling. Cardboard boxes, flattened to create in architectural spaces, thick growth, blocking me in. I'll cut through with both forearms out, sometimes push branches. Broken glass mixed with broken sharp-edged plastic. We'd get defensive in these shrubs. Black out now, somewhere straight back Prospect Park southwest. What crosstown, I don't know. Still only 2 blocks away. Thanks.